improve on. And I want to believe the presenter is going to be able to share in details what is expected of each one of us. But again, probably even before he speaks, I would want to appreciate each of your efforts in the exercise. And I would term it as a success to all of us. And I think we are moving in the right direction. So we will have a progress update in regards to the NUPI analysis. And then the second session, in line with the NUPI analysis again, we shall be getting to hear about the HIS release. What are the new features that are on board in regards to how to make some of the corrections that require to be made from the NUPI analysis. And so, can you hear me well? Teresia says she can't hear me.
We can hear you, Faith, very clearly.
Okay, so maybe Teresia, you check on your network. Yeah, so we're going to have a session to look at what are the new features in our HIS solutions that we are using at the various service delivery points in our facilities. So basically, that's our agenda for today. And then for any questions, kindly just let's go into the chat box, because I know the presentations may be two, but they could be lengthy. So let's put all our questions, our clarifications in the chat box. And if time allows, we will give a session for a few verbal questions during this at the end of the session. So karibuni sana. And I think I skipped one agenda, as always been. We always start our sessions with a word of prayer. So I would request a volunteer to pray for us. If you feel touched this afternoon, kindly just unmute your mic and pray for us. Anyone? Any volunteer? Do you have a volunteer to pray for us?
Let me pray, Faith.
Thank you, Diana.
Let's pray. Mighty and everlasting King of glory, we come before you this afternoon. We thank you for giving us good health. Thank you for giving us life. As we are about to start this meeting, we pray that you may be with us. Give us the wisdom to handle the responsibilities that all of us have to serve the people of this country. I pray this, believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Diana. So we will start off with the first session where we're just going to hear some remarks from our leaders, our team leads in the various components. We have team leads at the national level and team leads at our partner level. So I want to give this opportunity to the SI lead at NASCOP, Dr. Madiva, to take us through that session. So Karibu Daktari to take us through the opening remarks from the various leads.
Good afternoon to all of us, and thank you so much, Rose. I'm calling you Rose, Faith, for allowing us come into this meeting and inviting us for this meeting. As we've already stated, my name is Amadiva Kibisu, the Strategic Information Lead, and thank you so much for joining into this important meeting. I know the last time we had an update on National Unique Patient Identifier was early this year, in January, the first week of January, when we were updating all of us about probably the RRI that we are going into, so that we could have most of our clients being validated with the National Patient Unique Identifier as much as possible. And I want to reiterate what my colleague Faith has already said. I think we did very well, and it was actually a success. And basically in this meeting, we just want to get a summarized update on what we're able to achieve and give a way forward based on the guidance that we've been given by our leaders, including the steering committee that had been set for the same. Now that we've already had data analysis done for the preliminary results that we had, and also we've had the steering committee sitting down to just discuss and look at the analysis and the numbers, and they've given us guidance that we'll wish every one of us is actually aligned, so that we continue the good work that we've really put in to ensure that we verify all our clients that are on ART. So before probably we look at the update that we are talking about, it is important for us to just have a few minutes to probably open this meeting. I'm hoping that the various people that we need probably to give remarks are already in. If not, we'll probably continue, and when they join in, they'll be able to give in their remarks. I don't know whether Casco Chair has joined in, Sumuko, the representative of Cascos, already in the call. If not, probably we can reach out to him so that he also joins.
That's okay, Daktari. I'll reach out to him.
Okay, thank you, Faith. The CHRO chair, probably if you've joined in, you can also tell us hi. That is from the counties. Okay, I think we'll also get him later on as we progress. I know Dr. Ross and Dr. Stene will be joining in later on also as we go on to just probably give in a few remarks. I don't know whether Kate from PEPFAR joined into the meeting. Or maybe anyone from CDC, USAID, and DOD can represent the team. Dr. Kimanga, probably, for 1 minute.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Kimanga here. Apologies from USG representatives. I know, especially the SI team, they are busy in COP, but we are together in this. So again, I just want to appreciate the great leadership that MOH has provided on this space this far, and really also appreciate all the partners out there, the county team that have continued to embrace technology for purposes of improving program outcomes and also improving reporting and surveillance. Definitely, I wouldn't want to forget also appreciating the Palladium team that has increasingly been listening to the needs of the USG, the MOH, and the implementing partners out there, and modifying the systems accordingly to ensure that we are able to really leverage on technology for better patient and program outcomes. So I look forward to what is going to be unveiled today and that continued partnership towards better use of these solutions, feedback for improvement, and ultimately the journey towards achieving and sustaining epidemic control. Thanks a lot, Dr. Madivamba.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kimanga, for those comments. Probably I'll also allow Dr. Jacob, if you're in this call from Palladium, you can just probably give a few remarks, then probably we'll start as we wait the others to also join us.
Yes, good afternoon. It's not too good to be talking after Dr. Kimanga, but I think I'll just appreciate the service delivery partners for supporting the implementation of the digital health solutions and getting the verification to be a success. Thanks the leadership from the agencies, the USG agencies, and the Ministry of Health for their leadership and oversight toward this end. As Palladium, our commitment is to make progressive efforts towards ensuring that the HIS are responsive to the needs of NASCOP, the USG, and the service delivery partners and the users who they work with. Thank you, and it's great to have everyone in the call.
Yeah,
Madiba.
thank you so much, Jacob. And I'm hoping that you won't get into trouble with Dr. Kimanga. Know that I realized I'd given him an opportunity before appreciating the implementing partners that are here. Yeah, so I know others will join us as we go on, and we'll be able to give them an opportunity to probably just give us a few remarks and greet us. I'm seeing in the chat, a number of us are saying that they can't hear. The voice is low and all that. I don't know whether probably someone that can hear clearly. Is the voice low or can we hear clearly? Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So I'll take it back to Faith to lead us as we also await the others to join, but we can actually go on.
Thank you, Dr. Madiba, for the remarks. And once again, we want to get to the business of the day. I guess for those who can't hear as well, it's an issue with the network, probably from where they are. But from my side, I could hear the speakers very well. And so we can move on. And as we proceed to our first presentation by Dr. Madiba on the NUPI analysis update, I will request each one of us to do an introduction on the chat box. Just put in your name, your role in the organization that you work for, and which organization this is. So kindly just do an introduction on the chat box so that we keep a record of who was in attendance for this meeting. Otherwise, karibu Dr. Madiba for the first presentation on the NUPI analysis.
Thank you, Faith. Allow me to share my screen. I'm seeing someone's hand up.
So I can see there's a hand, but I think it has suddenly gone down.
Oh, okay. Okay, allow me to share my presentation. I'm trying to do that. And Faith, you can confirm whether you are seeing it. You're seeing whatever I've shared.
Yes, I can be able to see your presentation. Just put, yeah.
Okay,
Great.
thank you so much. Yeah, I think allow me to again thank all of us from across counties and also the facilities for putting in effort to really ensure that we have our clients having the unique patient identifier. All of us should actually pat themselves on their backs. And if you have anyone that is close to you, you can do that on my behalf because work that was done is huge. And this is something that we're actually proud of as a country, as a NASCOP, as strategic information. And we are happy that the facilities were able to really understand what we wanted to do. They came out strongly and ensured that the clients came to facilities and they really ensure that they have the national patient unique identifiers at the end of the day. Allow me to also thank the county leadership, from the CASCOs to the sub-CASCOs, of course, under the leadership of the county directors of health, in ensuring that this happens and that continuous follow-up at the facility level, the numerous supervisions that were happening by the county teams. I think that was very good in terms of ensuring that this work happens. And also, of course, we have our implementing partners who are in various counties. Of course, we know we have some counties that did not really have implementing partners, but we really appreciate the coordination and the collaboration that we actually saw between the implementing partners and the county leadership in ensuring that this happens. And of course, the implementing partners, I'm talking about even at the national level, I think we had very good collaboration with everyone that really needed to ensure that we have our clients having the unique patient identifiers at the end of the day. So in short, we did well. That's what I can actually tell us. And I'll just give a summary on what happened. Then probably we'll give a way forward on what we were able to achieve. And from that, we are hoping that facilities, counties, and every other person will actually continue with the same effort to ensure that we actually have every one of our clients having a national unique patient identifier at the end of the day. So just to remind us, these were the objectives of the verification exercise. Basically, we wanted to uniquely identify the people living with HIV on ART and also review data platforms in the process. And the specific objectives were to uniquely identify people HIV on ART and of course, the other one of improving our data systems. And I'm sure as the process was going on, most of us noticed that our data systems were actually being improved in terms of being able to even verify our clients. And that is something that will actually be continuous as new clients come in, and those that we haven't verified, as they come, we'll continue verifying them. And of course, a lot is still happening to just ensure that our data systems are improved as we move on. So these are just the key highlights, a reminder of where we came from. This is something that has taken ideally 1 year. And we started by, of course, the DG commissioning this process last year. In April, where a study committee was actually put, and also a technical committee that was highly integrated in terms of agency, organization, technical capacity, and all that. And of course, after that, we had the NUPI framework coming in that even guided our processes at the facility level. We had the protocol coming in, and I think we engaged us. We actually engaged all of us. We had stakeholders engagement at the national, county, sub-county, and even facility level. We were able to develop data collection tools, and that's what we are talking about. I'm sure by now people know what happens when we're in an EMR facility in terms of verification, and what happens with the BTISHA within an EMR facilities. So we were able to do that. We did lots of trainings, and I want to appreciate all of us, the counties, the implementing partners, in making sure that people really understood what was expected and did a good job. Then, of course, we had actual registration. We've done data analysis. Let me call that preliminary, because we've not really finished the process, as we'll actually see. And of course, we cannot talk of a final report, as I'll show you as we go on. So for those of us who are not there, basically, this is just a snapshot of what has been happening 1 year ago. And this is what we've managed to achieve. Deliberately, I've not put proportions in this slide so that we just look at the numbers the way they are, because these are people. And in December, by the time we were finishing the year, we had actually given over 1 million of our clients NUPI, and that is actually an achievement based on challenges that we had, especially when we were going on with and the challenges that we had as we are going on with the process. So even right now, when we look at our data in has continued, the process has actually continued, and you can actually see between December and now a number of clients have actually been validated or rather verified in our facilities. And people never stopped. We have not given any update, but we can actually see people continue verifying clients as they come to their facilities. This is how counties performed. And here I'm just looking at clients on ART that were given National Patient Unique Identifier as it was. And you can actually see the way we actually performed. For example, Nandi County, almost everyone in that county in terms of ART were able to get a NUPI. And you can actually see counties like Kiambu, Nyeri, Mombasa. You can actually see a number of counties were able to achieve 90% and above. And actually most of us were able to achieve 70% and above, apart from probably a few counties. And of course, we've tried to identify challenges and all that. Then of course we have ASAL counties that minimal work has actually happened, and we're really trying to see how the clients in these counties can actually be given the National Patient Unique Identifier at the end of the day. And remember, when I was showing the first slide, actually use numbers, because when we give proportions, sometimes we might not really understand. We might not. So sometimes the numbers are normally lost in the proportions, irrespective of me probably looking at proportions here. But we value every client, and we want at the end of the day, when we talk of probably 1.2 million people on ART, we can actually uniquely see that these are the people and they have actually unique numbers at the end of the day. So when you compare the various implementing partners, you can actually see we were able to do very well. And probably when you see some having 109 and above, of course, this is based on what we are calling KHIS data at the end of a given period. And of course, when you bring in the issue of non-reporting and all that, definitely you'll notice that the proportions will actually come down. And therefore, I think all of us did well. Actually, most of us were able to do 70% and above. And this is something that we need to pat ourselves well on our backs, and actually asked if you are sitting close to anyone who was involved in this work, they should actually get that pat on their backs, because we did very well. This something that we also did during analysis.
So please let us stop introducing ourselves now and just post any question in regards to the presentation. And then I'm also requesting, if you have joined with 2 gadgets, kindly drop off one, because we've reached the maximum of 1,000 and some of our colleagues are not able to join. Thanks. Back to you, Daktari.
Thank you so much, Faith, for that, because we are moving to a slide that will heavily even make our way forward and next steps based on the input and concerns we even got from the steering committee after we had a meeting and after we had done our final analysis. And just to bring us to speed, for us to have done an objective analysis, we had to make sure that we get the number of all people that have been reported to be on ART across the year, that is by December. And that's why we had to compare all the platforms that we have, of course, in KHIS, and you remember the DAMP, for those of us who have been here since we started this process. And we also had the P-survey, so that we actually get the total reported clients that are on ART. Then after that, now we were able now to do the analysis based on those that had NUPI and those that did not have NUPI and they were on ART. So when you look at these, I want us to start from total reported on ART, the 1.3 million. Of course, from our dump, whatever we are dumping, the unique clients or rather on ART, let me not talk of unique, but patient level data clients who are on ART. Of course, we had like 1.2. And from that, we were able to issue 84% of 1.3 with National Unique Patient Identifier, which is very good, by the way, because only a few were not issued with the NUPI. 84% is actually of 1.3 million. So that means only 16% probably are still remaining. And of course, we have the, we know where the 16% probably could be. We have facilities that never started this process, especially in ASAL counties. Even in non-ASAL counties, we still have facilities that never really started the process. And therefore, they could be forming the 16%. And therefore, probably as our way forward, we really need to reach the 16% to ensure that they also have an NUPI at the end of the day. But then our analysis did not stop at just looking at you having a NUPI. Remember, for you to be issued by a NUPI, you are to come in, give your national ID or birth certificate through the EMR or Thibitisha. The registration will actually automatically bring a NUPI for you when you are in that facility. So we subjected the IDs and even the information that was submitted from the facilities to a number of government systems, and one government system that we used is what we're calling the IPRS, that is Integrated Population Registration System. And this basically is a system that has all our IDs, especially if you're an adult and you have an ID and you're still alive, and it's normally updated periodically. So we had to subject the information that we had to the IPRS so that we actually get the level of match in terms of whether the IDs that were being provided by facilities exist, or even their IDs for the people that were being verified at the facility level. And because you can actually see around 875,000 actually had very good matches in terms of the IPRS matching at the end of the day. And that's actually encouraging when you look at the challenges and the issues that we have, of course, with HIV programming at the facility level and all that. I think when we did this matching, as much as we did not really achieve 100% as it was expected, but we had somewhere to begin, and we're actually happy that we were able to really see that clients that were being verified in the facilities are actually giving the right documentation, the IDs exist, and actually they exist in the system. But even with that, we still had a number of IDs that either did not match or we could not really trace them in the IPRS. Those that we could not trace in the IPRS, you can actually see there were around 56,000. And those that we could actually trace them in the IPRS and they couldn't match, they were around 172,000. So, and I repeat again, this doesn't mean that these clients could not are not existing. Huh? Of course, there are a number of factors that probably could lead to having these IDs not being traced in the IPRS, or even having the ID being there but not matching with the person. But what we noticed is that for those that were not probably matching, it was probably a digit that was a problem. Maybe the ID number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but what had been put there is a 6 instead of a 7. Those are clerical errors, probably from the facilities, or even sometimes when clients come, sometimes when they give the IDs and all that, you might end up tweaking the last number to just give something that is close to whatever is true, but it might not be really true. So, and these were a number of IDs that were not, that probably could trace them, but they were not matching the names or the people that had been given as having those IDs. So, and we thought, yes, these are IDs that probably facilities can really relook and even update, because this, you could actually see this a clerical error. Even in the names, you could actually see there were clerical errors and all that we thought, yeah, I think the facilities had, I know when we were doing this, it was stressful. And especially towards the end, we put pressure on health facilities, on everyone to really complete this. And we know probably clerical errors could come in, and all those issues that come when, of course, we are dealing with the data and we are looking at numbers and people are keying in and even registering people in a system. So yeah, we'll actually give a way forward on how to handle this. Especially the ones that did not match, those clerical errors in the IDs and probably the names, those that probably could not be traced. We have a way forward on how we actually want facilities to relook at that and really update, because we know that most of these clients actually came to the facilities, and we just need to relook at that and really update that information. We can chase those that did not match, those that matched, and all that. And the data analysis team has just compiled a slide here that's showing us how counties performed in terms of proportions of those clients that had the IDs matching the IPRS when we compared to, of course, those that they'd issued an OP. And you can actually see, for example, I don't know, probably we should go to Kakamega County and find out how they managed to have it 8% of what they had given us IDs matching. I don't know what they did, but I think that was impressive. And a number of counties that managed, actually most of the counties have managed at 70% and above. And I think counties like Kakamega will need to go and find out. These are good practices that are coming out from this exercise. And yeah, I think we need to really maybe learn from these counties that were able to have most of their clients and whatever that provided in the system matching with the IPRS and all that. I'm not saying that the counties that did not reach 80% and above did not do well. Of course, I know there are a number of clients that are still yet to be verified. And there are also other challenges in these facilities that probably now after this, we'll be able to look at and really solve at the facility level and probably at the county level. But I really want to appreciate especially counties that whatever was given as IDs managed to actually match by over 80%. This is good work, and I'm hoping that this is going to improve even as we probably correct the clerical errors that were there, and we correct the issues that were coming up as clients were giving the IDs and all that. So that said, and I think this is a very summarized version of what we actually got. As much as we have over 1 million clients with NUPI and we want everyone, my thinking is we have these clients in our facilities. We are hoping that as many of these clients get a national unique patient identifier. And at the end of the day, of course, we use the right documentation for them. And even those that probably we had already given an OP and the information is not matching, we really look into that at the facility level and really update so that probably this slide that I'm projecting can have, for example, Kakamega, I know it may not go to 100% because of other challenges that we are aware of, but I know it can go beyond 95%. for all counties that are displayed here as much as possible, so that at the end of the day, we can actually be very confident with our data. Right now, we are confident with our data. Actually, most of us will tell you that we are actually happy because our systems are able to pick this, and we can actually see that we have very good systems that can actually give us data that we really want. And if you are able to achieve, for example, if Kakamega can push this to 95%, and the counties that are doing 70% can push this to 90%, then I can assure you will have one of the best HIV programming patient level data that the whole world will actually envy at the end of the day. And therefore, this forms our way forward. This forms our way forward in terms of what we need to do next. Are we going to say that we are stopping everything? No. We had the steering committee meeting. And after we had shown them what we had done within probably 1 year, they gave us a way forward, and they told us this is very good work, and we're happy that facilities are to do this. Facilities have really put in effort to do this. And therefore, we actually need everyone. And we've upgraded our systems to actually help us do this, so that we don't have to go back again and reanalyze the data. We've really tried to automate the EMRs and even Thibitisha to be able to immediately you validate an ID, it will actually tell you, it will give you more information than what it was giving you in the previous update. And therefore, by the time you get an update about someone that you've validated, it will actually be complete with the IPRS information also being included. And of course, the steering committee gave us a go-ahead to continue with the routine verification of clients on ART. And of course, we are aware that a number of our clients have not been verified yet. And at the same time, we are aware that we have some facilities that we've not really gone to in ASAL and even in the other 40 counties that we've not really reached. And they actually gave us 9 months to ensure that we go to these facilities. We ensure that any new client that is coming in, it's actually making this routine so that even as new clients come, they'll actually have an OP. And of course, at the end of the day, we have patient level data that can actually be used for decision making at any level. And of course, at the end of the day, we also want this to be real time. And a lot of work is being done behind scenes. I'm happy because we're able to work as one in the country to actually achieve this. And even as we are doing this, we don't just want NUPI to be a HIV related number. We want to ensure that this is actually enhanced in other health services beyond ART services in our facilities. And of course, we already started talks in ensuring that all people that are coming to facilities to seek services actually get a patient unique identifier that can actually help them get services across the country, irrespective of whether they are on ART, they have HIV or not. So this is basically what we want to do. But of importance from this meeting, we have to continue with the routine verification. And in 9 months, we must have everyone. And hapa sasa we should actually have everyone with a national unique identifier. Those with the no IDs, let's help them get IDs. Because from the peace survey we noticed that we have a number of clients who don't have IDs. And of course, let's help them get IDs. Those that are yet to accept the verification exercise, let's encourage them. Tell them that, of course, you've seen what we've already started using the data for. And of course, by 9 months, we should be able to really say all our clients have we can really identify them uniquely at the end of the day. And of course, as that will be happening, the other important thing that I want you to pick in this slide is the first point of ensuring that we just look at the IDs that we gave and really update them and ensure that they align, especially the clerical errors that we were seeing in some of the IDs that were given. And I think with that, I will stop.
Thank you very much, Dr. Madiva, for the very insightful presentation. I believe you've all been able to see the good work that each one of us did, because it was collaborative effort from all the counties. And once again, we really appreciate the good work. And as Dr. Madiva has already alluded, we still have some work to do for the next 9 months to make sure, at least even if we don't get to 100%, we all ensure we get to about 95% of NUPI allocation in all the counties. So I think it will be very important for us to look at our county performance, and then we can be able to relate to some of the reasons why the clients were not identified. And Dr. Madiva, I believe there are quite a number of concerns from the chat boxes. I will go through them one by one, and then probably you can speak into them and what I can be able also to assist you answer. And together with the rest of the team, we shall also be able to respond to it. But otherwise, I think the presentation was quite detailed. So, and I think the comments that I can see from the team is to kindly share the presentation after this, so that they can be able to internalize and also be able to utilize the data to make corrections moving forward. Because of time, I will just quickly read through the concerns. So one, I think there was an important slide that they've been asking to see, the outcome of the P survey. This is from Jeremiah. He wanted to know what are some of the reasons that were given for not having a NUPI through the P survey. And I think we have analysis for that, so probably you can speak into that. And then the next one is from Patrick, how to clean the non-matches in the IPRS. How do you make sure that for those people whose IDs did not match with what is in the National Bureau of Registration, how do we make sure that we clean that up? And then there was a request also from Murunga to define the terminologies. Unfortunately, Murunga did not really say which terminologies these are, but I want to trust it's the use of the term IPRS. So you can actually say what that means. And then there's a concern also from Rafi. Is it possible for us to quicken the issuing of IDs after application for those who do not have national identity cards? I think for this, we need to work collaboratively with the registration, with the immigration department to make sure that our clients all have IDs. And I think also there's a recommendation from Rafi again on ensuring that, and I believe this is also something that we've also been able to see and appreciate, it's a learning process. We need to do a validation before issuing the NUPI in the client registry. And that's our long-term, much as Dr. Madiva has given the short-term resolutions to make sure that we get at least to 95% NUPI allocation. In the long run, we will make sure that as you issue a NUPI, there's verification from the registration, from the Bureau's registration, so that we actually confirm it's your true ID instead of going through this process again. So that's it, Rafi. And then I think the other concerns were also around access to IPRS. So I guess it's the same recommendation. We go through IPRS before actually generating the NUPI. And I think that's the gold standard. And then for, so I believe the people with no IDs, the prisoners, sorry, this is from Makueni Dispensary. They're asking for prisoners who do not have IDs, they lost them. What happens to them? I know we had a discussion about prisoners, so Dr. Madiva, you can clarify on that. And then for clients who refuse to use their actual names as per what is in the ID and they prefer to use the alias name, how do we handle that situation? So that's the first round of questions, and then probably we can see if there's another set of questions. I can see they're dropping in. So you can clarify on some of the issues that I have left out, especially the last one, use of the alias name, and the first one, analysis of the P survey data for the reasons for not getting a NUPI. Over to you, Daktari.
Thank you, Faith. And thank you, everyone. I'm happy because we were able to follow through and ask questions. We have a very good analysis on the peace survey, and I think we'll even share that in details to us so that we can actually see what happened. But in a summary, we noticed that from the peace survey, most of the clients that did not have an NUPI and actually came to the facilities was because they did not have the right documentation, either the IDs or the birth certificates. Actually, that was the main one. If I'm just to summarize of the issues that we actually got. Others were probably someone being a prisoner or or military personnel and all that. And of course, you know, the issues around that. Other reasons were clients just declined. We had a proportion of clients who just declined the NUPI. And I think it was an interesting analysis that we can also share, especially when probably we'll be sharing the slides. But majorly what we noticed is that most of those that could not really have an NUPIs because they don't have the right documents. And if we were to support them to get the right documents, then we'll have this that did not have an NUPI getting verified in our facilities. There are issues around the alias name, and those that do not want to really use their names at the end of the day. Even as we are telling facilities to really update the information about NUPI in the client registry, we are aware that, of course, stigma is still one of the setbacks when it comes to HIV programming. And we know we are not blind to the fact that there are people who come to the facilities and use the other names that are not theirs. And the advice is, because we know it's not easy to really access the client registry data. It's not because after registration, unless probably have your NUPI or something, it's very difficult for me as a person to come and look for you and really start looking for your patient history and all that. And even to make matters worse in that, as we are talking of launching this to all other service areas, it means that this won't be an HIV-like activity. And therefore, even that person that is using alias in HIV facility will still need to have the right information for other services, because they're not just coming for HIV. They'll also be coming for other services, and it's the same NUPI that they'll be using for these other services. When they come in, when they have malaria, their HIV status will not really matter, because they will have come to the facility for that service. And the guidance the steering committee gave is that for registration purposes, let's, as much as possible, use the right names for what is going to the client registry. At the facility level, of course, after you've gotten the NUPI, you can actually maintain the alias names, so that if someone was to come to the facility, they won't, because of course, for the purposes of registration, that goes to the client registry and you remain with the client at the facility level. Whatever goes to the client registry may not really be for HIV alone, it will be for other things. And therefore, getting the right information as much as possible is important. At the facility level, the alias names can actually remain, because that's how you identify your clients with. You don't want people to know about their identity and all that. Of course, stigma is still there. We are not oblivion of that fact. But the guidance is, as much as possible, we get the right information about them. And at the facility level, we can actually continue using the alias name and identifying them as we've been identifying them at the facility level as much as possible. Yeah. And I think you had taken care of most of the other aspects, including IDs and all that. And actually, most of the questions that are being asked probably will be answered as we go to the next sessions of looking at the system upgrades and all that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Madiva. I know we are not on time. We've already taken into 20 minutes for the next presentation. And as rightfully Dr. Madiva has said, most of the concerns that I can see being raised here on how to correct the ID of someone who was verified, verified in another facility and is in the current facility, those are the questions that are going to be responded to in the next question. So I would urge that we proceed to the next session, which is also going to give us some of the responses to the questions that I may have left out. And if none is answered or responded to, we shall be able to type in the responses to the team. So thank you very much. I'll also request to hand over the chairmanship to my co-chair, Franklin. Please take it over from there. Asanteni.
Now, when they're rejecting, they're not saying why they're rejecting. They're saying they don't use it. So
Franklin?
Kisumu is the one that has rejected, but it is not using the text. So I've called for logic.
Okay, because I can't hear him as he puts his gadgets into the right position. I think we can proceed with the next presentation, which is going to be on the HIS releases. And I want to hand over the session to Bernard or Diana, kindly the person who's presenting to continue. Bernard Otieno or Diana.
Thanks, Faith. Kindly allow us to share the screen. Valentine, kindly share the screen. Yeah, so we'll take you through the sessions of what's new in all the products that we are releasing today. And also we'll speak on to what Dr. Madiva has mentioned about how to correct the wrong IDs that were given or wrong ID numbers. So we'll demonstrate that how we can correct that both at the EMR level and also Ushauri level. So maybe you can go to the next slide, Valentine. Yeah, we can just skip this. Okay, so at the end of this session, of course, what we envision is to get to know all the products and all the enhancements and the bugs that have been fixed based on the feedback that we have received for both from the program and also from the users of the system on the ground. Next slide. So we'll have 4 sessions. Of course, we've had the first one from Dr. Madiva, and then this session is from Palladium. We'll also have another session from the USG, and then plenary, and then questions and next steps. Next slide. So I think we'll skip the ground rules. I think all of us are muted, and all the questions, let's put them on the chat. And a request, we've already reached the 1,000 mark. So we are just requesting if you're in one room and you have devices, many devices are connected, just log out on one so that other people can manage to join. And also maybe you can inform the other people that will record the session and share all the slides after this, because we are informed that many people are locked out. They couldn't join this call. Next slide. So, like I mentioned, we'll just look at all the products that we are going to release today. So one of the steps is just to ensure that the products that we have respond to the user's needs and also to the program that we support. So we'll just touch on all the enhancements, all the bugs that have been fixed, and also the trainings that we'll plan to do, and also the support, how you'll get your support if you have any challenges technical, how we can reach out to you, and how you can also reach out to us for that kind of support. Next slide, please. Okay, so we'll have Palladium team, that's the Kenya HMIS project, Palladium and HITAC team, just highlighting all the products, eHealth, mHealth, and also National Data Warehouse and the associated products like Diwapi. And then we'll have plenary. Next slide, please. Okay, so like I had mentioned, I'll just give highlights of the major bugs and the enhancements that have been done on the products. I know we have reports that have been enhanced, PMTCT, KP, GBV, and also some forms. We also have enhancements to Kenya EMR and Ushauri. I'd mentioned about the NUPI enhancements. So we'll see how to pull those records that had error records per facility from the central registry, and ability to make those corrections and post to the registry directly. So for both Kenya EMR and Ushauri. So the central registry also was enhanced to facilitate that two-way communication. So we'll update the client's ID for all the clients that have been previously verified, but they were not the correct as per the IPRS records, and also just the same, that is for both Ushauri and Kenya EMR. So Ushauri application also has been enhanced, and also the dashboards have been enhanced to include PMTCT module that is in the application. And also we have the Ushauri Kenya EMR direct integration. So in this case, Kenya EMR and Ushauri can just communicate directly without using the IL that was previously used. So this reduces on the double work that some of us were doing in the past. And also some dashboards have been added and enhanced as well. So ART directory also has been updated. That will be tracking the patient movements, that is between facilities. And Diwapi also for boardroom upload features. I know there are some facilities that have internet challenges. So uploading data to the warehouse has been a challenge. So in this case, some partners would pick the databases from sites and upload on at a central point. So we have a feature that will support that, and also unified dockets. So initially Diwapi used to send different dockets, and some users could forget to send some dockets. So right now you can just click on one button and all the dockets will be uploaded. National Data Warehouse also has undergone a major revamp. So that includes the incremental refresh, automated data quality checks, self-service. I think it will be in the next slide that will explain that more. And also we have an updated architecture. Next slide. So I think at this point, I'll just welcome Eric to take us through the EMR enhancements touching on PMTCT before we go to the next section. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you, Diana, and good afternoon all. I'll be taking you through the PMTCT EMR enhancements, what we've done. Kindly, Valentine, if you could move to the next slide. So what I'll start with is what we've done to the triage form. And as you can be able to see, we've done two things concerning the triage form. We've added the pregnancy screening questions so that we can be able to assess whether the client we are attending to, and in this manner, it's a female client, whether she is eligible for pregnancy test. So once you answer the questions, as you can be able to see from the screen at the top, you'll be able to get a flag telling you that the client is eligible for pregnancy test. And that one will appear if you answer the questions and the response whereby it's no. That's what we've done to the triage form. Next slide, Valentine. Then when you get to the MCH module, when we are enrolling a client, there was a client whereby a certain facility or some of the facilities were reporting that they couldn't be able to reckon some of the ART data for a client coming for the ANC services, yet receives ART services from a different facility. So what we've done at the enrollment form, we've added some variables so that you can be able to capture the client start ART dates and even the facility whereby the client receives HIV care from, and even the current regimen. Next slide. So for the ANC form, we've been able to enhance the antenatal form to auto-populate the maturity in weeks. This is whereby you find that once we've entered a certain data in the enrollment, now when you get to the ANC form, we don't want the user again to key in the maturity information in weeks, but now the system will auto-calculate for you and give you that data. Then the next thing that we've done concerning enhancement of the form, it's the provision of a variable that will now be able to record syphilis results, which will now be able to show once you select dual kit for HIV test. We know the dual kit is used for testing both HIV and syphilis. So once you select dual kit, another variable to record the syphilis results will appear so that you can be able to record that. Then again, where we have other results at the bottom of that ENC form, there is a place where we are supposed to correct, to record the syphilis serology results. So once we capture it at the top, once we select the dual kit, we will not be required again to enter. You'll not be able, or you'll be required to enter the results, but now the system will auto-populate the results as per what we'll have now indicated in the initial where we have the syphilis test. Then we've added a variable to record on the sugar testing for diabetes, that is for the blood sugar testing. And again, we've added another variable or a flag to show high-risk client. And for these flags, we'll be showing high risk for both negative and positive as per the criteria that is given in the guidelines. So we are using that criteria to flag who is a PMTCT mother who is high risk, even if the mother is HIV positive, and who is high risk, even if the mother is HIV negative. Again, we are using the criteria as it is in the guidelines. Next. Continuation on the same form, as we've done a major enhancement on that form, we've again added a minimum package of care for any client who has a high risk alert. So you'll be able to see that part whereby you can be able to check. We have check boxes whereby you can be able to check the any package or the service that you've offered to a client who is high risk. Then the other variables that we have recorded or you've added so that you can ensure that we are able to record deworming, even the intermittent presumptive treatment given during this visit. Another variable that we've added is a female genital mutilation. And also we've added another variable to record on which postpartum family planning method was the client canceled on. And then the last thing that we've done to that form, it's whereby we validated the next appointment date to be greater than the encounter date. What used to happen is that we noticed that you can be able to enter our next appointment date, which is equal to encounter date. So we needed to validate that so that we could be able now to not to be able to enter the same next appointment date as the encounter date. When you get to the delivery form, also there are some of the enhancements that we've done. And to start with, we've added some of the variables. The number of ANC visits, now we are able to collect that information using the delivery form. Then the VDRL or the RPR results, we've added a variable to collect data on that at the delivery stage. Then where we were also recording the placenta, whether it's complete, we have two options, whether yes or no, but we've added a third one, which is baby born before arrival in the in that section. Then we've added another variable to record on the uterotonic given. Another variable that we've added in that form is the vaginal examination with the specific responses for that. Then again, we've added kangaroo mother care given. Then we've added another variable that is given vitamin K. And then we've again enhanced the delivery form whereby we'll be getting auto-population of date of last menstrual period and estimated date of delivery from ANC visit form. So once you see maybe a PMTCT mother or MCH mother who has ANC form filled, there's no need of you again recording the date of last menstrual period and estimated date of delivery, but you'll be able to pre-populate that from ANC form. Valentine. Now to the postnatal form, we've also added some variables that were missing. And the first enhancement that we've done is about adding PNC number. Then we've added another variable, that is the postpartum visit mother and baby timing, whereby you can be able to record that, whether it's as per what is required. Then we have added another variable to record on the PALA status, then the uterus status. Again, on the counseling on modern postpartum family planning, we've also added that. Then added a free text area whereby you can be able to type in any other maternal complications, which is not included, or you could be able to maybe collect using the postnatal form. Then if the client and a delivery form field, we are auto-populating the maternity history from that form, so as now to make your work easier, not to again fill the same thing that you filled using the previous delivery form. So that history part, we are pre-populating it. Continuation for the same postnatal form, there are other variables that we've added, that is collecting data on whether the couple canceled, and then even when did the mother come for the HIV tests. And in here, whereby we want to get that data whereby if it was less than 6 weeks or greater than 6 weeks. Then when did infant for ART infant prophylaxis and treatment come? That is the same period, whether it was below 6 or above 6 weeks. It was missing in the current form that it's there. Then the other variable that we've added, it's the TB screening, so that we can be able to record the outcome of the TB screening. Then moving to the mother discontinuation form, as you know, some of you are noting that the reasons as to why we are discontinuing a client, they were limited. So we've enhanced that form and added more reasons as to where we are discontinuing both the mother and even the hay. And for the hay, one thing that I can highlight is that we've added discharge at 18 months as a child service discontinuation reason. For the child welfare clinic form, we've done a major enhancement on that form, and sorry for the faint. I know since some of you can't be able to see clearly, we are sorry for that, and next time we'll improve on that. We've added the following variables in that form. The height and length category, we've added it. Then the breastfeeding and not breastfeeding for infants below 6 months of age. Again, we've added that in the CWC follow-up form. Any danger signs, we've added that section. Then the LLIN given to under 1 year, that variable is there. Now we've added it. Then the follow-up type, this may be the haze coming for which type of a follow-up. We've added that variable to be able to record whether it's a nutrition or a rehabilitation services. Then we've added a variable that will be able to show you the mother's viral load. So what will be happening is that if the mother has a viral load, results will be auto-populating it using the CWC form so that you can be able to see the mother's viral load. Then made the weight and height mandatory and auto-populated the same from triage. If maybe when you, the first form that maybe you recorded or you filled was triage, coming to CWC follow-up, you will not be able, again, you will not be required to fill that, but will auto-populate the weight and height for you. Then enhance the laboratory section to enable, be able to record the first DNA PCR, the second DNA PCR at 6 months, the third DNA PCR at 12 months, the confirmatory PCR for positives and baseline viral load for positives, and the final antibody. Again, that one with the laboratory section, we've enhanced that part so they can be able to record those tests. Again, as per what or the announcement that we were doing to the forms, we looked at the reporting side and some of the revised reports so they can be able to generate the complete ANC register. We've enhanced that again so that you can be able to populate all the columns in that register after we've added the new variables. So the ANC register has also been enhanced together with the PNC register and even the delivery, that is the maternity register, so that you can be able to populate the correct data and be able to populate all the columns that are required for that for those reports. Again, the MWH 711, the PMTCT section, we've enhanced that so that you can be able to get that data, and including 711 in Kenya EMR. Then MWH 731 for the section 2, that is PMTCT section, we've enhanced that so that we can be able to populate the right data as per what we've collected using the reports. Again, we've inclusion of PAMA report in Kenya EMR. Valentine. So allow me to usher in the next presenter, who is Valentine.
Okay, thanks, Eric, and good afternoon. Eric, kindly confirm if you can hear me, please.
Yes, I can, Valentine.
Okay, so this is just a continuation of what Eric has left. So I'll be taking you to some of the other areas that we've also enhanced. So as you can see, there is a bit of work that has been done on the machine learning for HTS, case identification. So we worked on that to prove we worked on the ML model for to increase the accuracy of prediction. So one of the forms that has really been enhanced is the HTS eligibility screening form. So some of the things that have been added or that needs to be recorded for you to get the accurate prediction is the date, the HTS strategy, and the service point details. We've also added the assess of the behavior risk and to decide on the eligibility for the testing, and you can also be able to generate the risk category. And after that, one can be able to refer the client to other services. So that is basically for facilities who've had touch on machine learning. Those are some of the enhancements that have been done. Don't know why now I can't move next. Can you be able to see my screen?
Yes, Valentine, you can see your screen, but the slides are not moving.
Yeah, I don't know why now they're not moving, or somebody is also.
Probably you can unshare and then share again.
Okay, sorry for that. Still, I'm not able to move next. I don't know if somebody can help me share the screen. I don't know, I can't move next.
You can still you can't move to the next slide.
Yeah, I still can't move to the next slide. I don't know, Songok, if you can share your screen.
I hadn't downloaded the slides. I don't know whether Lusa can share or Otieno kindly. I don't know any one of them. Otieno, are you in a position to share? Sorry for the inconveniences. Yes, you can go to the next slide. Yes. Valentine, you can proceed.
Yeah, so on this next slide is just to show you how important the machine learning is of importance. So considering maybe you have like 10,000 patients with 33 positives, the target for you to get the 95% positive with no ML requires a lot of work and all the time that is needed. But with the machine learning, the categorizations have already been done for you, and with the just clicks of button and adding a few variables to the forms, you are able to get that whether the client is high risk, low risk, or the medium risk for HIV risk. So maybe to the next slide. That is, I think that's all for machine learning. So on this, from the previous presentation, you had given done some verification for NUPI. So there is a small enhancement that has been done to be able to correct some of the errors that we were getting. So Kenya EMR is giving you a provision of pulling data from the registry and getting some of the clients that have errors, because we realize most of the patients' details are not matching what is in the registry. So with that, one is able to pull, just as shown on the slide. So once you pull, you'll be able to get the failed IPRS verification. So for the clients who failed to have the verification done, and with that, you'll be able to see the type of error that the client that is required. Sorry about that. So as you can see from some of the errors you can get is the client gender maybe doesn't match whatever is in the IPRS. It can be the client name. So once you pull that list, you are able to verify with the client and just ensure that the information that is given back to the registry is the right one. So with that, you are able to correct the errors and verify the client again so that the information can be sent back to the registry for accuracy. Yeah, so the next slide. So we've made some few adjustments on the recency testing. I know some of the facilities have had a feel and touch of using the recency. So what has been done is majorly having the recency ID included in the HTS initial form, retest form, and HIV enrollment form, including the AFIA-STAT, because we also use it for HTS. So whichever form you fill first, if it is HIV enrollment, when you move to HTS initial, that section will be populated with the recency ID that you had entered in either of the form. So the recency ID also comes with the WHO stage that is required. And that is I think the guide that we were given for us to populate the recency ID. Then this information also is collected through the WAPI to data warehouse, and you can be able to get this information, link these clients to their recency ID within the data warehouse. So the DWAPI right now collects this information from Kenya EMR, just like other variables that we normally collect. Next. Yeah, so for MER 2.61, there was a slight improvement or change that was needed in terms of age. So that has been added in our data team report in Kenya EMR, especially in the treatment and the viral load section. And also we've also included the PPP PREV indicator in the prevention section on the same report. So those are some of the major changes that were done to the MER 2.61. Next. Yeah, so the Kenya EMR patient search, initially facilities and most of you users complained about the loading time when you are searching for a patient. This was majorly because when you search and maybe try to enter a name like Mary. MA will always give you like a long list of patients starting with MA. And just to enhance that, it was giving most of the facilities taking time to search for patients because of that. So we enhanced that such that you can only search one patient at a time when you press enter. So when I want to search Mary, you just type Mary and click on enter, and the only Marys are the ones who will come. So it will not be a matter of MA and it gives you a long list of patients starting with MA or Mary or that. Either way, you can use, if the client is Mary Atieno Chieng, that's the better. You can still use the full name to search for the patient, and that exact patient is the one who will be listed. Then another thing that has been added is that before the search patient page was defaulting to only checked in. So we've worked on that, and now it's defaulting to all. So it will be able to search for the patient that you are looking for under all and not only under checked in. So unless you want the patient is under checked in, you can always move to only checked in patients. Next. So there's a major change that we did on the Kenya EMR DVL integration. That is the lab manifest. As you all know, most of you use this feature. So some of the things that we've added on the lab manifest is we've expanded the categories. Maybe we were limited to maybe draft or ready to send, but right now we've managed to add ready to send, on hold, submitted, incomplete results, complete results. So ready to, for a draft, you all know that means that the samples are not ready and you are not still able to send at that point, because the system will assume that is still a draft, so it will not be able to send. Then ready to send is when you have verified and the client and the sample is now ready for sending. On hold, maybe you had so many samples and you want to send them at once, but there are some that you haven't created, so you can put that on hold. Then submitted is the category that will now show when the sample has already been submitted. Then for incomplete results will be those results that you had sent the samples, but for one reason or the other, the results did not come back for the results to be marked as complete. So complete is just having the results back, and you can use the results for whatever action that is required. The other section that has been added is the action required section, whereby you can collect new samples, and you can also check on the missing samples. Missing samples are whereby an order is made, but there is no sample already created. So that will give you the list of patients who have orders done, but are missing the samples. The samples have not been taken. So the other section been added on the lab manifest is the print of the sample bottle. I know there is a name for it, but the print that we had was quite big and it was covering the whole sample bottle. But right now we've tried to minimize it to fit just a proportion of the bottle. So you could, I know you could print before, but that it fits the bottle. Next. Yeah, so on this, what has been added is just the dispatch for you to be able to send the samples. And on the next, the other section is that just some of the NHRL lab for viral orders, the additional references. I know you have them, but those are the ones that are currently being used. So you have to do that configurations for the love manifest if you want that integration to happen. Yeah, so generally there were also some bugs that we fixed. So one of it was the contact listing alert. It wasn't working well. So for the non-HIV, even when you put when you test the contact, it was still showing that the client has a known contact with HIV, unknown status of HIV. So we've tried to fix that such that if you update the HIV status of the client, of the contact, the alert will disappear. Then there was a bug on the HTS report. So we fixed the MY 731 HTS section to include all tests done in the facility, which now includes the PMTCT test. So it will give you all the tests done within the facility, including the PMTCT test. Then there was a bug on the ART line list. When you generate, you are having some blank VL results where the VL date is not available. So we tried to fix that so that you have both the viral load results and the date when the viral load was done. Then there was also another fix on the MY 731 cancer screening indicator under the cervical screening to exclude male. It was including the males, so that is something that has been fixed. Then the TPT medication, there was a drug that was required, that is rifapentine, and it has now been included under drugs. When you go to other and search for it, you'll be able to get that drug. Yeah, next. Yeah, so basically most of you are already aware of the toolkit. Some of you already have it installed in your machines for Kenya EMR. So basically what it does, it upgrades. So for example, if you are in version 2.18.20, it will take you to the next version if it is available. So what it does, it will go to GitHub and check if there is a new upgrade that is available. Then it will be able to download it over the internet. And after downloading it, it will be able to run the scripts for you and just update the changes for you automatically. So this basically will, I know some facilities have already started using it, so partners don't have to go to all the facilities to do the upgrade. By just a click of a button, you are able to have this these upgrades in every facilities if you have the toolkit. For those who don't have the toolkit, the package is on GitHub. Just download it and run the script. It will be able to update everything that is required for it to work. So that is what it basically does for the upgrade. So if there is a new upgrade and you already have this, you can just go and click on the upgrade button for the toolkit, and then it will download and upgrade for you. Yeah, so next. So still on the toolkit, the value propositions that it has to users, it's simple and easy to use. It doesn't require technical skills. So anybody, so long as you just know how to use a computer, you are able to click on the upgrade button and you just sit and relax as it does the rest. It's also co-effective as it eliminates physical trips to facilities. Like I said, I know partners always have it's difficult for them to go to all facilities and do all the upgrades. So once you have this, you just tell the facilities there is a new upgrade, kindly use the toolkit to upgrade your site. Then it's efficient by ensuring minimal service interruption during upgrade. So you can do it that time that you guys feel majorly in use. So that is the time you can run it, and there will be no interruption of using of the system. So it also has a rollback feature. So maybe you can upgrade and you realize that the new upgrade has so many errors and bugs and all that. You can roll back and continue using the previous package that you had. So that is a feature that is very important. Sometimes you can upgrade and you find there is a bug that is a block and you cannot be able to move forward with seeing your clients. You can be able to roll back and get your previous upgrade. Like I said, the facility can choose the most convenient time to perform the upgrade. So it is up to, if you choose to run it at night, in the morning, that is up to the facility. So you don't have to wait for the partner to come, and maybe at that time you are seeing patients. Yeah, so the next slide. Yeah, so some of the future opportunities that we are seeing, Kenya HMIS Toolkit, some of the enhancements that we are looking forward to is automating the fresh EMR installation for new facilities. So with this, we are looking at a way whereby when you are a new facility and you want to have Kenya EMR installed, you can use this toolkit to just update for you all the requirements for Kenya EMR to run. Then we are also looking forward to expand and support installation and upgrade of wide range of HIS products like DWAPI. So we are seeing where while you run this, you can also upgrade both DWAPI and Kenya EMR at the same time. So you don't have to have the two scripts and run them at different times. Then another enhancement that we are looking forward to is to support push messaging and notification to the facilities. So as we look at it, we'll add more enhancement, and from your feedback, we'll see what we can enhance. But basically, those are what we are hoping for it to do for us in the near future. Yeah, so last, I think this is on the new upgrade that is coming, which is version 18.50. That is the new version that is coming. All those changes that we've mentioned here will be gotten through 18.50. And the upgrade has two scripts. So the first script is the normal setup script that you guys are used to. So once you run that, there's a post-upgrade script. So basically what you do, run the setup script. Then once it's done, it will take you to the initial setup. So initial setup, you just put the facility name and then it updates. So once you've updated the facility name, you go back and run the post-upgrade script. Please, this is very important. I'm emphasizing on this. Run the two scripts. Don't just run one setup, the setup script, and forget about the post-upgrade. You'll run into many issues. And we don't want you to go through that. So that's why I'm emphasizing, please run the two scripts. The first script is the setup. Run it. It will take you to the initial setup page. Put your facility name and save. Once that is done, go back and run the post-upgrade script. Yeah, so that is how the new upgrade will work for you once you run those two scripts. Yeah, next. Yeah, so I think that's the end for Kenya EMR. Welcoming the next presenter, Victor.
Thank you. Valentine, confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Victor.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So we have an enhancement on a new module that has been added on Kenya EMR. That's Ushauri Kenya EMR module, and the module's objective is to support seamless data exchange between Kenya AMR Ushauri and the ART referral, whereby we'll be able to have facility be able to push registration details and appointment details to Ushauri server as well as the ART. These features actually been developed at the back end of mHealth data consolidation feature that basically allows for one-time registration. So objective is to ensure that facilities, when you register your clients in one application, mHealth application, then you're able to cascade that to all the other mHealth applications. Next slide, please. So the next enhancement that has been done on Ushauri mobile, so we have an enhancement that has been done to support data validation errors from UPI, and through the mobile app, we have an icon that has been added on UPI errors, where non-EMR sites are able to pull the errors from the CRS and be able to validate and verify these errors, and they're able to push back once they have updated the details. They've been able to push back these the new information back to the registry, so that we are able to have accurate information in the registry, as well as the Ushauri. Next slide.